Lesson 3, Tools for Beekeeping. You will want to have protective gear. Bees do sting, and as a beekeeper, you will get stung. The standard kinds of protective gear are a veil, gloves, jacket, and coveralls. Looking at one of these separately, the veil comes in all shapes and sizes, with varying degrees of security or protection. Factors to consider are, what do you feel the most comfortable wearing? How cautious are you around bees? How much do you wish to focus on taking care of the bees and learning about your bees versus worrying about how close they are to you? Other factors are the time of year. In early spring and when they're busy in the summer, they're usually less aggressive. How much the bees are being disturbed, especially when you go in to inspect the frames for brood laying and for honey stores, they get more disturbed and they get more protective. When you actually are in late summer and are harvesting your honey, they have a tendency to be very protective of their honey stores. So, once again, looking at these veil options, the one in the lower left is on a hat. There's a veil, and it ties around the chest or the waist of the beekeeper and keeps the bees away from the face. The one on the right-hand side is a zippered unit that fits onto a jacket, and it is very secure. The bees can't get in around the zipper attachment, and there's even a Velcro flap that covers over the zipper that goes up the front and the zipper around the neck, so there's no access point for a bee to get at the beekeeper. Different beekeepers, like I said, have different comfort levels, and sometimes experienced beekeepers who know their hives and know how to expect the bees to act will actually opt not to wear protective gear at all as they're doing a particular task like installing a package in a hive. But for the beginning beekeeper, we do recommend that you be comfortable. Use the protective gear that is available to you and enjoy working with your bees. Gloves are another protective piece of attire, and they come in all sizes, obviously, but they also come in a variety of lengths depending upon what you'll be wearing them with. So if you have a full jacket and veil like in the previous slide, you might opt to go with a shorter pair of gloves because your hands will be covered, but so will your arms by your jacket. So think about what are you going to be wearing and what time of the year again it will be and how many hives you have. If it's in the heat of our summer and you have many hives to take care of, you'll be in your bee gear longer, and how hot will you be? There are long gloves that actually have ventilation in the arms and it helps with airflow. Some beekeepers prefer those because they do have quite a few hives and want to be as comfortable as possible in the summertime. Once again, we recommend that the beekeeper use gloves when handling their bees. There's no way that you're going to be able to work your hive without touching bees. And sometimes the bees react very defensively, and this is a good time for a beekeeper to be stung. Another type of protective gear is your jacket or your coverall. There's many options available for you again, but strongly it is recommended that whatever you select is light or white in color. The picture that you see here, people have opted for a variety of veils, a variety of gloves, and most definitely a variety of jackets or coveralls. It is a comfort level based on the beekeeper and what they wish to do. The jacket covering ranges from a old white long-sleeve dress shirt that can go over the top part of your body to a integrated unit of a long-sleeve jacket with a veil attached to a complete coveralls unit. Decide what you feel comfortable with, decide which you wish to have, and the options are certainly out there for you. Talk to other beekeepers, see what they recommend, see what they find the most comfortable. Other types of tools that are available are smokers. and you'll always see your beekeeper with his smoker in hand. That's a typical picture of a beekeeper. The smoker is used mostly in the summertime when you wish to inspect your hive to see how things are going inside. And the most important thing to remember about your smoker is to get it started using something that is easy to start and that you have readily available, such as a piece of newspaper, pine needles, something like that, and then add a fuel in that will produce smoke, but nothing, either your starter or your fuel, should have any chemicals attached. So if you're using burlap, for example, as your fuel, make sure it's non-treated burlap. If you're using sticks and twigs, make sure that they are safe and don't have any pesticides or any chemicals on them either. Once you get your fire started, you flip the top part, the top of the smoker back in place, and you squeeze the bellows gently, making sure that there is smoke coming out, but you don't want flame coming out. Remember, this is a smoker. It is not a flamethrower. And a little bit of smoke goes a long way. Before you open your hive, you will take your smoker to the entrance of your hive. Just give a couple poofs of smoke in that entrance. You'll lift your lid, your top cover, and you'll do a couple of poofs in on the top of your hive as well. Then you'll put the lid back down. You'll wait just a couple of minutes before going into the hive. The bees will react to the scent of smoke. They will get busy in their hive. They'll be distracted, and they will not be paying as much attention to you. The other tool that is very important is called a Hive Tool. It has a blade on it that's used to pry the frames apart. Remember, bees will stick things together to keep them steady and secure, and if you want to pull one of those frames out of your hive to see if the queen is laying her eggs, then you're going to need to break one frame apart from another. So you want something that is thin and can break through the propolis that they have glued things together. There's several different styles of Hive Tool, and there's even in hardware stores a painter's 5-way tool that would work well for this type of operation as well. But make sure that you do have a Hive Tool handy for when you work your bees. Another tool that is helpful is a bee brush. It is a long, thin, gentle bristles on the brush, and it's used to sweep bees off of the frames or off of, like in this case, a queen excluder. The bristles are very thin so that bees don't get stuck up in them. So be careful what you use for a bee brush. Get one that's long, that is thin, and that has very flexible bristles. In summary, we've gone through the kinds of protective gear that are available to you as a beekeeper. And remember to think about that too before you have your bees arrive. We want beekeepers to enjoy the hobby. We want them to feel secure in working with their bees. So use your judgment and select a veil that you feel would be appropriate for your comfort level, gloves, and whatever you wish to wear as far as a jacket or perhaps even a total coverall. The tools that you want to have to work your hive include a smoker, and very definitely a Hive Tool. And once again, if you'd like to have a bee brush, they certainly are handy to have.